What is good, YouTube? Thank you for tuning in to another review. This is not your average sneakerhead, Tony Ramsey. Today we're taking a look at the YEEZY QNTM in the Barium colorway. Before we jump into the review, if this is your first time watching one of my videos, or if you watched a few videos but still haven't yet subscribed, please consider subscribing by clicking the link down below. We plan on doing another giveaway once we get to 500 subscribers. We're already about 2/3 of the way there. If you guys do plan to subscribe, I really do appreciate your support and joining the Not Your Average Sneakerhead family. Now with that out of the way, let's go ahead and jump into the review. The YEEZY QNTMs in the Barium colorway released on June 25th, and this is the second colorway of the YEEZY Basketball QNTM line. These did release via YEEZY Supply and also the YEEZY ADIDAS site. As I mentioned, the YEEZY QNTM in the Barium colorway released on June 25th. Now, it was a very weird release. They were scheduled to release on YEEZY Supply at, I believe, 9 a.m. Eastern Time. When that release happened, there was a big delay, and it actually got pushed back to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, which then pushed back the release on the ADIDAS YEEZY site, and that got pushed back to, I believe, noon Eastern Time. I was able to grab mine off of ADIDAS as it seemed like the stock on YEEZY Supply was pretty limited, and I was actually able to get into the queue on ADIDAS maybe about 3 or 4 times. And with the ADIDAS release, it seemed like they had a ton of stock of these because I heard a lot of people were able to get through and actually grab these, and pretty glad to have these in hand. Give you guys some details about the sneaker here. And first things first, let's take a look at the box. So these come in that standard cardboard YEEZY box. You do have the word QNTM written at the top of the box, and pretty simple box there. On one side you do have the YEEZY made by ADIDAS branding right there with the ADIDAS branding, and these do have boost in them, so you do have boost written on the side of the box there. Then on one more side of the box you do have your sizing information. I got these in a size 9. The official colorway is Barium 6 times, and they had a retail price of $250. Pretty standard YEEZY slide out drawer style box, so it just comes out just like that, so nothing out of the ordinary there. Now this is, I mentioned, the second colorway of the YEEZY QNTM line, but there are some differences between this model and the one that released originally back in Chicago for All-Star Weekend. I do have that one in the collection as well. Let me go ahead and grab that one for you guys. So I also do have the original OG QNTM colorway, so I'll go ahead and compare some details about these two sneakers later on in the video. But on to the Barium. So this is the first YEEZY silhouette to come out of the YEEZY Basketball line, and this has been a pretty polarizing silhouette. I know a lot of people like the original colorway because of how limited it was, but personally I'm really into weird new sneakers, so the silhouette is, I think it's pretty dope. They do look a little bit different on foot, but I'll give you guys some on-foot looks at the sneaker later on in the video, of course. Let's get some of the details about the material. So the YEEZY QNTM Barium is mainly comprised of, there's some prime knit on here, there's like a TPU cage, there's boost in the midsole, and there also is some really stretchy like neoprene material part of the shoe, which makes me think these might be actually good for performance for basketball. I haven't tried that out yet, but I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find some basketball reviews of these on YouTube coming up in a few weeks. So we'll start off with the toe box. So the toe box here, you do have a very, looks like a genuine suede patch right there in the same type of fang pattern. That same pattern can be seen on the YEEZY 700 V1s. Let me grab the Wave Runner so you guys see that similarity there. So just like the Wave Runners had that same type of material, QNTM doesn't have that as pronounced on them, but it is a very similar cut. This is in a charcoal color there, which definitely gives the sneaker some contrast, because following that, you have a black neoprene tongue there. It seems like where the tongue is, the sneaker pretty much is in a booty construction with some overlays that go over the tongue. And we'll start by looking at the lateral side here. You do have this TPU style material that's on both the lateral and the medial side of the sneaker. And underneath that TPU material is actual some knit material that does have some reflective 3M material woven into it, and I'll give you guys some B-roll shots of how that looks with the flash. And it is in that same wavy pattern that you saw on the first QNTMs, but the first QNTMs, this overlay was all in knit with some 3M under it, so having this TPU here does give this shoe a little bit more structure in the Barium colorway. Then going to the rear of the shoe, you do have this very thick heel counter here. And the interesting thing about this is that heel counter is all done in 3M reflector material as well. And you do have a little bit of some color change there, where you have silver right here at the very forefront of that that heel counter. And on the back, it's a very dark charcoal, almost the same color as the toe of the shoe. Right above that, you do have a neoprene material that is very stretchy. Doesn't have much padding, but when you do lace these all the way up and get them on foot, they do give you a lot of lockdown. So that's something that that is good to know, especially if you plan to hoop in these sneakers. Now the midsole right here, it's more like in a chalky color, and there is full boost in the midsole. There's full boost cushioning, which makes these sneakers extremely comfortable. And then on the outsole, it's more in a yellowish type of color, and you can see the boost right there at the back of the outsole right there. And you do have some Adidas branding right here in the middle of the outsole. These do come with some thick rope laces there. They didn't use the infinity laces like they have been using on some other Yeezy models this year, which I'm pretty glad of, because I'm not a fan of the infinity lacing. So having standard thick lacing here, I really do appreciate that touch for the sneaker. And I kind of like how this lacing system is as well, because they're kind of tucked away behind the upper, so you don't really see them that much until you actually tie them, and they kind of blend in pretty well with the sneaker, giving them like some pretty good contrast from going from the gray to this greenish type of TPU and the knit material there, then the black, and you have the black laces and the black tongue. I think they all blend together pretty well. Now, if you're looking for any details, you can legit check the shoes. Mine did come with these 3 tags. As I mentioned, I got these straight from Adidas. It took about a week or so for them to get here in Cincinnati. They do ship out of LA as well. And there's the this extra label there if you guys are looking to see what those look like. And the right shoe is pretty much a mirror of the left shoe, so no different details between each shoes. Now, one thing that's really interesting on the Yeezy Quantums is they don't line up these back heel counters. So between the upper and the heel counter here, this part right here, you would think they would go in a straight line to give it some symmetry, but on this side it lines up a little bit. But if you can see on the medial side of this sneaker, it doesn't quite line up as well. Then if you look at my right sneaker, the lateral side is just completely off, whereas the medial side lines up almost perfectly. And that same thing actually happened with the first Quantums as well, where this one is just completely off, but the medial side, this one was off as well. But on my other sneaker, they do line up on one side, so that's going to be inconsistent from pair to pair. In case you're looking for ways to legit check these, that wouldn't be a good way to go about doing that. Now, as I mentioned, there are some differences between the original Yeezy Quantums that released in Chicago and the Yeezy Bariums that released worldwide. Now, first thing there is on the toe, different colors of course because they're different colorways, but I think the material on the Quantums on the toe here might be synthetic, whereas the material on the Bariums looks like it might be, and it feels like it might be, a genuine suede there. Then also, as mentioned, you have that TPU cage on this one, whereas on the Quantums you did not. You just had that that knit overlay with some 3M underneath. But other besides those details, the shoes are almost identical, same shape. They even fit the same. I thought they would fit a little bit differently having the different material, but they actually fit very close to the same. Speaking of fit, as I mentioned, I went with the size 9 in these. My true size is 8.5, but usually with Yeezy sneakers, I go a half size up because they do run pretty snug in the toe box. I found that to be true as well with the Quantum silhouette. So I would recommend going at least a half size up in these, especially if you have pretty wide feet. As I mentioned, here in the toe box, they do run pretty narrow right up in here. And if you get your true size, you might have a little bit of pinching there in the toe box. You can also remove the insoles if you want to. Speaking of the insoles, let's go ahead and take those out and see what the details are for those. So looking at the insole, you just have, it's a basic black insole. It's pretty thin. You do have some Adidas and Yeezy branding at the rear of the insole. Then on the bottom, you do have some Adidas branding there on the back. And you do also have looks like they mimic an outsole of a sneaker on the bottom. And there are some numbers here at the top. It does say YH, then a serial number, and the size range from 8.5 to 9.5. I'll see if I can get that to focus for you guys. Also worth mentioning in terms of sizing for these, now the Yeezy QNTM Bariums did release in both full and half sizes. whereas the original Yeezy Quntms only released in full sizing. So I went to size 9 in those as well. You were not able to get an 8.5 or a 9.5, but in these you can get pretty much any size, which might help with sizing if you do want to maybe go up more than a half a size on these. You can go up from an 8.5 to a 9.5 if you wish, whereas on the original ones you only can go from an 8 to a 9 to a 10. Last but not least, let's talk about resale for these sneakers. When these first dropped, they were going for upwards of $400 on the resale market in my size, and probably around the same for other sizes, but these have since dropped down to the low 300s. You can even get these under 300 in certain sizes. I think because they released a ton of pairs of these, so people were just trying to buy them for resale, and then when the market started to go down, people were panic selling. If you're looking to grab these, I would recommend grabbing these now. I don't think they're going to go much cheaper than what they are right now. They may go into the high 200s, let's say around 280 to 290, but I think over time they'll settle around $350 to $400 because it's a pretty nice sneaker. Even though they had more pairs than they still probably won't restock these, and people are going to want to wish they had these come around, let's say the fall or the winter time. So I would recommend grabbing these right now if you are looking to pick up these on the secondary market, because I think the prices aren't going to get much better than what they are right now. And if you do want these in your collection, I would say go ahead and pull the trigger on these now before the prices start to go back up. But now that we have those details out of the way, let's go ahead and get these on foot and show you guys how they look. There you have it. That's been my review of the Yeezy Quntm in the Barium colorway. Let me know what you guys think about these down in the comment section below. As I mentioned, I am a pretty big fan of this silhouette. I know it's not what people are used to, but I really do like different sneakers, and I actually like the way that these look on foot. They probably look better with either some joggers or with some shorts. I'm not sure if these would look good with some skinny jeans or not. I haven't tried to pull them off yet because, of course, we've all been stuck in the house for the past few months. So once we can get back outside, I am looking forward to starting to rock these and get a full impression of what I think about them long term. But overall, I think it's a pretty dope silhouette. I like the TPU cage on these. I like the reflective material under the TPU cage, and I actually really do like this color. I do like how it has tonals to it, and it does have some contrast with the black, the grays, and the green. So not a bad sneaker overall, and one that I would recommend picking up if you're into Yeezy sneakers. Again, that's going to do it for my review of the Yeezy Quntm and the Barium colorway. Again, if you're not yet subscribed, please make sure to subscribe clicking the link down below, and I will catch you guys on my next review. Peace.